welcome Zari to our podcast and show. Zari came to us about a year ago, actually. I think it's right about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And she came to us. Well, I'm actually going to let you tell your whole story. But it's an incredible story, and we actually have her art here as well, which I can't wait to talk about. And yeah, so welcome, Zari. And so my first question to you is, how did you get to the Drake Center? How did you get to this kind of treatment?
Well, it started because I was having a lot of mental health problems since I was about 11, and I just felt like something was wrong. Like I felt really depressed. I was having suicidal ideations and all sorts of things. And I learned about the Drake Center from my mom. Mm-hmm. And she told me about this treatment. So I went on the website, I looked at some of the videos, and it like amazed me. I was just like, I don't even have the words to express like how happy and relieved I felt when I thought that this could be an option, because I had tried other types of medications and they helped a little bit, but like with pill type medication, you have to take a higher and higher dosage because your brain gets used to it.
Sure.
And I don't know, it just didn't really work for me. And there were other things, like obviously there's exercise and like creative outlets, but those like, I still felt like something like in my core was wrong.
Yeah. So you found us in a time where things just weren't working, right?
Right.
And how old are you?
I'm 17.
17. So there's, 17 is a lot going on, right? And even when you came to us, it was a little over when you first had turned 16, right? So a lot of things.
I think it was 15.
15.
Sophomore year.
Okay. I haven't, 15. That would make sense. Wonderful. Let me go back to my train of thought here. So you were struggling with depression and anxiety, and then you had heard about this kind of treatment. What was your first? Did you know about psychedelics? Had you even heard of it at 15?
I'd had heard of like microdosing on mushrooms, but I'd never heard of anything like ketamine being used for like mental health.
Right. Yeah, it's fairly new for. At our center, we've been doing it now for 3 years, but there is a lot of now. There's a lot more awareness now. Right. And the amount of help that it can really help people has been incredible. One of the reasons why we love to share our stories of our patients is because the stories are incredible. And it's real healing. It's real healing in a different way. Obviously, we come through it all different ways, meditative ways, creative ways, and even virtual reality, right?
Right.
So, and there's a lot there, too. So I'm so excited that you're here to share your story with us.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you should be. The work that you've done, Zari, we are really, really proud of you. You've done a lot of work on yourself. This work tends to be more focused on how the patient puts in the work, right? The medicine's going to do what it's going to do, but it really does, and all the other activities and kind of keeping you on track, right? So we'll talk a lot about that today, too.
I just want to say, I feel like this treatment was like the catalyst for what changed me.
Oh.
And my friends that I've had since like freshman year have told me that I'm like a very different person and that I've changed for the better and I feel different.
Oh, it's hard. I always cry in these. It is incredible to see the difference. I always tell people too, right, to take a picture or do some sort of document or journal. You are really creative, so it's been really fun to work with you because you just paint, and
I love to.
Yeah, and it shows you're really, really incredibly talented. So
thank you.
It's going to be. I can't wait to talk about your art. And so there's all these beautiful things that kind of come out of it, right? I mean, your friendships have changed. I mean, I know you're looking at colleges now, so this is great opportunities for you now in a different headspace that you're in, right?
Right.
So I'm so grateful that these treatments have helped you. I really am. And so we're going to let's actually talk about your art. Let's talk about some of this. So a lot of we do a lot of integration, right? So there's one part of it is the medication itself. And actually, let's talk about the treatment itself. I want you to explain what a treatment is like at our center.
At the beginning, I get into this super comfortable chair. There's like a card reading where I pull a card, and that is kind of what describes the mindset I'm gonna have going into this medical treatment. And then I get a blindfold, some headphones, and I get this amazing weighted blanket. I get the ketamine either like injected, or originally I took like a really interesting tasting tablet type thing.
They were a lozenge. Yeah.
And then it doesn't take very long to kick in, especially with the injection. So I'm just sitting there, and then it just like, I feel like my body kind of just like morphs into the chair in a way. And then I just start seeing all these types of visions.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. During your treatment, how did you feel coming into it? Were you a little nervous at first?
I was more excited than I was nervous, because I was like, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to be what like helps me and changes my life. So I wasn't really nervous, because I knew everything was like monitored and stuff. So I wasn't really nervous.
And to let our viewers know, Dr. Drake and I actually sit with you the whole entire time during your treatment. And that's part of what we think makes us a little different. But we are with the patient from start to the end. And if we go into boosters like we have with you, we're always available and around for extra support or whatever.
Right.
So it's been incredible. So you have this experience in the chair, and then we have integrations after.
Right.
So, and with integrations with us, it can go, well, Dr. Drake and I have different approaches, as we say.
have fun.
We do. And you and I have a lot of fun. Because I really don't think healing has to hurt and be painful.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. And so that's kind of been my, as we go into this whole medical practice, it's been, healing doesn't have to hurt. Dr. Drake and I both worked in many, many facilities where it hurt. And mental health is, it's not really an easy place to be, right? The patients don't want to be there. The healthcare workers sometimes don't. This is a completely different energy there, and we love it so much. And to be able to help people this way is incredible.
I think so too.
Yeah. So there's ways that we do integration, and I happen to specialize in the creative. The creative integration is my specialty, and we do a lot of virtual reality therapies as well. Zari not only has painted with me on canvas, we've done metal art. We have done a lot of virtual reality creating as well, which maybe one day we'll bring the headsets in and we can maybe do something here.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, I think people need to see that we can create in virtual spaces together.
Yeah.
And in 3D, and it's pretty amazing. And what that does to our minds is a whole another beautiful thing, right? So it's incredible. So let's talk a little bit about the integration, though, that you work with when you and I work together in the creative side of it, and some of the visions and cards. And actually, I'll have you explain it.
Okay, so when I usually get there, we start off with like a relaxing meditation, like we did at the beginning of the podcast, and then we kind of like, sometimes I'll do a like a VR thing on Trip, which is like, it's a whole other like relaxing experience. Sometimes we do both, other times we just do one or the other. And then we kind of just get centered, and then I start working, because I'm very eager to work on my paintings.
Yeah. And so part of the centering part is really kind of getting out of our monkey mind stuff. And so when we do create, we're creating from a deeper space. We're creating, and lucky for us, we have a lot of visions to work with, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing about ketamine, is that it does give you a little bit of a psychedelic experience. So we do have incredible visuals to kind of pick apart and really see what those are, and really kind of look at those deeper.
Right.
And you've done several paintings. Is there one that you want to talk about specifically?
That one's my favorite.
Okay. And actually, we can zoom up on that one. Yeah. And I think you can zoom up on it. It's all good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So this is something that I saw in one of my trips. I don't remember exactly which one it was, because kind of I see everything, and I remember like right as soon as I come out of it. but I don't always remember like a few days after, just because it kind of like all clouds up a bit. But like right when I come out, everything is so clear and I remember. And this is something that like the vision of it like sticks with me, because I just felt so at peace. I was looking in this field. I saw this gnome man. He was just hanging out there, and like the butterfly was there, and it just like everything about the atmosphere like brought me peace, even more peace than I already felt. And I just felt like I was meant to be here, and nothing I could do here was wrong, and nothing around the place was also wrong. I feel like I'm not explaining it the way that it like felt relieving.
Yeah. So that's something that actually we should talk about as well, because most of the visuals, most of the experience that you have is about feeling, right? I mean, it's really emotionally so real for you.
Yeah.
For all of our patients, they have these incredibly emotional releases or visuals, but the visuals mean so much to them, right? And it gives them a deeper peace. And so partly all of the integration therapies, the psychedelic integration, is giving people that reminder, right? And so all the art that we've made, everything that we create is all based on basically getting you to remember that feeling, right? And really integrating it into your everyday life. And how does that look? And for you, it's looking at colleges. It's going
being
on with
productive every day.
Productive, exactly, and not being in such a sad place,
right?
So, the art part to me is just the added beautiful bonus of everything.
I love it.
I do too. I mean, I love the art part, but it's incredible.
And it helps me like remember the place that I was in when I felt this like type of calm.
Yeah.
So when I see it, I'm reminded, and it's very nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have. Then it's nothing that you need extra. It's something only in your own mind and your own heart and soul and whatever you want to call it, spirit. It's always within you. It always is, to find this deep peace. We just forget. Yeah. And I think what ketamine really does is literally becomes a catalyst, right? It opens up different windows into our subconscious mind that is available now for healing, right? And then it's a whole different way of healing. And it's not so scary. It's not so, I got to take all these meds. I mean, we really try to get our patients off of their meds. I hate taking pills. Yeah, and I don't blame you. I don't like to take a lot of pills either. I think I take a vitamin. But that's about it. We don't want our patients to be on pills for a long time, for something to take to wake up, something to take to go to bed, something to take to calm them down during the day, and then they'll take something to pep them up. It's, there's always something. And, for us, seeing patients just live more authentically and live more naturally almost without all those meds has been incredible too. And then obviously all the other stuff in life that happens for you that turns out amazing too. So this one's one of your favorites.
It is. Because, this one's not finished, and that was the first one I did.
Yeah, so. And that one, I kind of vaguely remember that one. That one was, I believe you were dancing in clouds, was that?
Yes, I don't like this one as much because I feel like I didn't like accurately paint it. Like the way I saw it, there were flowers everywhere, and I painted them like a bit bigger than I had actually seen them. Like it was like a field of flowers in the clouds.
Okay.
And I just remember like running through it or something like that.
Maybe we'll have to recreate that in VR. In virtual reality, no problem. Your work is incredible. And this one was from the last one. This is the one that you're still working on.
Yeah.
A lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes our patients take home their work as more of a homework type of project. And it also serves as a purpose to remind them to go within themselves. What Zari does is she'll center herself even before painting and use that time as her space, her time to just kind of remember all the work that she's done on herself, and also obviously to create an incredible painting. So, and this one, this was from your last ketamine session, and I know, you want to talk about that one?
Oh, sure. Just in this one, excuse me, there was like a big empty field, and I remember like laying down like on my back in this field, and like the grass around me, I was completely surrounded by like a deep, thick forest. And it was just like I was in myself, and I was protected from the outside world within this like forest and laying in this field, and the sky was blue and beautiful. It was really serene.
Ah, I love that. So the idea is that we bring that serene feeling back whenever you need it, right?
Right.
Whenever you start to feel a little stressed or a little anxious or whatever, we go back to that feeling. And I can't wait to show a lot of this art as well, especially at the space that we're in. I have a lot of display room, let's say, and so I love to display all of it. So I can't wait to get this one back for my wall of art. But it's been incredible. What are some things that, so you said your friends have all noticed as well. Is there anything that even family members or anybody has mentioned that they've seen some major changes?
Well, I just seem like, I've been told I seem like a brighter person. Like I'm less, like I don't weigh things down. I'm not a negative Nancy, as one friend said. And I just like, I feel like I'm not, maybe not even just positive, but a more neutral and positive outlook on life. Because before I thought any little horrible thing that went wrong was the end of the world. And it really wasn't. Like everything I need to take in stride, and I need to like take everything I do as a learning experience, even if it is like not a good experience, it's still something that I can learn from and better myself from.
I think you are doing absolutely incredible, my dear. You are, it's absolutely incredible to see. Like I said, I wish we have the before pictures and after so much, because your energy has changed. Your whole look about you, the brighter, lighter, whatever you want to call it, it's evident. And so it's been beautiful to watch you literally blossom into. And I'm excited to see where you go next, honestly. I mean, I know we're thinking about colleges, and so that'll be very exciting to see what you go into next.
Yeah.
And that would be going into the future and looking at things. What have you decided to think about going into now?
Right now, I'm looking at becoming like possibly a neurologist or like a neurosurgeon, something with like the brain, because I find that so interesting. Mm-hmm. And I already kind of found like psychology interesting, but since the ketamine treatment, like more like the physical makeup of the brain is just so interesting to me, and like how you can like manipulate it like to make people not depressed, like with what ketamine did, or like microdosing on mushrooms, and just like things you can do to like better like the human experience, like with the physical makeup of the brain.
Oh wow.
And I also want to I really want to help people. And so like I feel like if I'm some kind of doctor or something like that, I can really do that in the best way.
Well, you could come work with us eventually. How's that? Yeah, it's incredible to work in this mental health field now. It's I've always taught meditation and art, obviously with my art therapy stuff, but this work, it takes it all to a different level. Dr. Drake and I love to help people as well. This has always been kind of our dream from a long time ago, very long time ago, of building a practice, a medical practice that is different. It's different for healing on different levels. This is more, like you said, like soul changing, right? It's a completely different experience than just here, take some meds and see you later, and we'll do a therapy session 2 months later. This is a whole different experience. And it's been obviously
life-changing.
Life-changing. That's a good word for it. It's an incredible word for it. So is there anything else you want to add to this? What would be something that, let's say, if somebody your age, or even high school, you know how high schools can be, it can be trying, let's say.
Yeah.
And I have teenage
That's a nice
boys
word
myself.
for it.
I have teenage boys myself, so I get it more than probably most people. But we do know that being a teenager is kind of hard. So maybe if you could share some things that helped you, and not only that helped you, but kind of, to encourage people to look for help, really. And what would you say to a friend that was going through some stuff that you might have been thinking about?
I would first probably recommend looking up some guided meditations, and I don't think that solves everything, but I feel like if there is something that isn't such a long-term thing, and it's a daily thing, or I mean a day-long thing, like a meditation or a creative outlet like painting, or even a rage room. I don't know if that's a creative outlet, but it's an outlet.
Right.
Or going to the gym. anything like that could, I feel like, help someone that I feel like is struggling. But if it is like a more serious issue, I would encourage them to reach out to like a parent or like someone that they trust, to like help them get the resources. And I would probably recommend them to the Drake Center.
Well, thank you. But yeah, wonderful. Well, this is good. I'm hoping that if any person that needs help, that they will reach out. There is hope now. There really is, and it's real hope, and it's pretty incredible. And we see it every day. We call emergence, like when people wake up, it's literally, we call it emergence for that reason. They are emerging into a different vision, a different world of seeing themselves.
Right.
And it's incredible.
I feel like this saved my life, I think. Because, like, I don't know where or what I would be if, like, I didn't go through this treatment. And, like, now I'm, like, maybe I'm not happy every day, but I'm pretty neutral. Yeah. I don't have, like, angry outbursts. I'm not, like, self-destructive in, like, my tendencies or when I get in, like, arguments. I feel like I'm a lot calmer, just in general.
Ah, I love this. See, it does, so it comes through in so many different ways, right?
It does.
Yeah.
And my room is consistently clean. Well, maybe not consistently, but I clean it at least once a week.
Okay. Well, that's good. This is good. That's more than my boys, I can tell you that much.
Well,
and I have 2 teenage boys, as you know. But no, boys are a little messier, I think, just in general.
And stinkier.
Yeah, this is very true, very true. And this is why I like to work with my girl patients. It's pretty fun. Well, that's wonderful. Let me think. There's anything I want to add to it, but I think we've covered everything that I wanted to.
I've had some.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to add? Because I know you wanted to.
You sent me a question that was what, like, part of the treatment I found most helpful. I feel like besides, like, the actual medicine, the ketamine, it was, like, the breathing, like, the big belly breaths, because I do that regularly now, like, before a big test, like, anything like that, when I'm feeling super anxious about something, or, like, anything, actually, I remind myself, like, okay, belly breaths.
And
belly breaths.
And you know why? I mean, here's another physical aspect of the belly breath.
As well as, like, being very aware of my surroundings, like being aware of everything I'm touching, aware of all the sensations in my body, like of all the noises around me. Like, that really, like, helps me, like, become grounded.
Sorry. See, you are. That is exactly what I would hope.
And something, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Something else about the treatment, like, I thought of this analogy, like, a couple of days ago. So instead of, like, I feel like I used to be like a stick, how, like, it's a stick in a river. Okay. The river would, like, rush around and things would break me and I would, like, feel like I was unable to recover. But I feel like now I'm a rock in the river. Everything happening is around me and it flows through and I let it flow through. It doesn't hurt me. It is what it is. It's like a and I can accept it.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a beautiful thing we should paint. That's a beautiful thing to paint. Wow. Okay. Well, you haven't told me that. That's incredible.
Well, I just thought of it like a couple days ago.
Well, I'm glad that the belly breaths are working. As you know, when we breathe like that, we're literally moving our diaphragm, right? And when our diaphragm moves, we're literally triggering that vagus nerve, right? And then when we start to trigger that, and we're moving that diaphragm, within 3 or 4 breaths, we usually get to the parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah. And that is incredible. Navy SEALs use it before, they use it for high intense places. Our oldest son, as you know, is a helicopter pilot, and I've been teaching him deep belly breaths to draw, to be able to use that. And my other son is on stage, and so it works for a lot of things. It works for a lot of different ways. And the best part is nobody needs to know you're doing it.
And calming down after, like, a panic attack or anxiety attack. Exactly. Sometimes, like, if I have friends that are, like, struggling with something, like, they're crying, I try to explain it to them, like, this does, like, open up your parasympathetic nervous system, like, this will calm you down. And sometimes I'm, like, a little annoying about it. I'm like, okay, do breaths with me.
Because you know
like,
how
I hold
much
their hands.
Right. Because you know how much it works. And it's the real deal. When when you feel it, right? It's not just calm down, you're fine. It's like, no,
Let's go through this.
We're going to actually get you calm and centered. I used to teach this breath a lot at triage when I worked in the hospitals, and that was a big, everybody thought they were not doing well in triage, right? Everybody thought they were dying. So how do you get somebody out of that? And this belly breath is incredible for that, of getting people out of their mindset of that.
Right.
But I'm so glad that you're using that, because that is one thing that we really talk a lot about.
It's like my number one tool.
Wonderful. So there's a lot of mindfulness meditation stuff that we do also at the Drake Center. And a lot of art. There's a lot there that we do in that little building.
Yeah. Also, that so we made like this engraved. What is it like?
A mantra. It's a mantra bracelets, or I think you.
I made like a necklace thing, but I hung it on my car so I can always see it. I don't look at it when I'm driving, but I like it. One of the things is be in the moment or something like that, and then the other one is breathe. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you do.
And that just like reminds me to stay in the moment, or to like be present, and not so much, try not to worry about things that like work me up and make me anxious. Right. It really just like, it helps me stay grounded. Like I try to be.
And I love that you have that in your car to remind you to be no road rage, right?
Oh, I don't road rage.
Exactly. Well, I've had a wonderful discussion with you. I love that you're here, and thank you so much for sharing all of your work, and
I love being here
and your experience with everything. And we'll have you on again. Maybe we'll do some VR, maybe do some VR arts, and figure out how we can film that. Interestingly enough, we'll have to work with the studio here.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of technology with that. But I think that would be really incredible as well, to show
that would
people
be super
that we
fun.
Create also in different realities.
Right.
It's one thing to put people into different realities, but and with the meditation part, there's one way that I guide people into it, but it is a whole different way for me to put someone inside of a meditation.
Right.
And they're like, I'm in it. It's a whole different experience. So
like Trip, that's amazing.
Yeah, and Trip is one of the many that we use that are really good for the work that we do.
Yeah.
So. Well, thank you so much, my friend, for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Talking with us. And I look forward to seeing what you finish on this.
Yeah.
All right.
We're done with college applications.
Yes, we'll get that done and then work on that next.
Yes.
Okay. One thing at another. We just do one thing at a time.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.